I think now is the time to begin our discussion about OBS. Let's do this. Yeah, what a great start. All right, so today what we are going to do is I'm going to give a pretty basic rundown. A basic rundown about how I do what I do. And after that, I'm sure there's a lot that I'm leaving out, so I'm going to ask you if you have any questions, and then we go from there. All right, shall we do this? Okay. So typically when we have one of these events, I start off with a scene already created. Or sometimes in the past, I've started with one of your ideas just to show that you can pretty much make anything. But today, we're going to jump right... what I'm going to do is I'm going to create our stage for the Discord video calls live with all of you. Okay. So we're going to start off with breaking the fourth wall. This is going to be completely different than anything I've ever done. Let's go to a blank slate. Oh, hello. There we go. Okay. Now you can hear me. All right. All right. So we're going to, we're on a blank slate, and I'm going to give you guys a display capture so you can see what the heck I'm doing. All right. So, welcome to my desktop. This is what we're working with here. When I stream, this is exactly what I see. It's a tall screen, so this might be a little strange. So, maybe I should just get rid of... You guys don't need to see all this. So I'm going to hold down Alt, and you can crop automatically by holding Alt and dragging aside. Okay, so this is it. Welcome to my OBS. This is what I see every day. We use Firefox and Chrome. You know, I have different things for different, you know, I have two browsers doing two different things. All right. So, let's begin here. Okay, hold on. I'm going to turn this off for a sec just because I want to make sure this goes okay. Okay. So right click, we're going to add, first of all, we need me, right? You have to see me. We're streaming live. I have two cameras, my main camera and my side camera. We're going to add the main camera. Here I am. Hi, everyone. I'm back. Don't worry. I know you missed me. And, yeah, I'm going to flip myself so it looks like I'm looking the right way. Okay, here we go. Let's crop out my screen here. We don't need to see that. Hi, welcome to my OBS tutorial. We're going to kind of start from scratch here. Hold on, let me one more time make sure everything is good. You just never know. Okay. So, how do you make a Carl from scratch? Good question. Let's go over that. I've got a ton of extra effects, but I'm going to just delete chroma key. Hi, this is what it looks like. I'm so sorry to break the fourth wall, but that's what we're doing tonight. This is what I look like without chroma key, but, you know, we've got a lot of stuff here. You know, spell add-ons, we can go over that later, but first of all, you know, sharpen. Just a touch, some color correction. You can see my settings there. So I have pre-color correction and post-color correction. I boost my saturation with the pre so that it's easier to key, and then I reduce it on the post. And this one's like a cleanup. This one is like what's this? This is crop. Okay, so you know what that does. Color. This is probably one that I added that I don't like anymore. And yeah, as you can see, oh, I have another overall color correction down here. Probably, oh, it's just adding a little contrast. Okay, so that's my setup. That's how I get chroma keyed out. I know we're going over stuff quickly here, but I want to get through a lot quickly, so bear with me. Okay. Next, let's construct a scene. So I'm floating in nothingness right now. I want to be somewhere. So I've gathered some assets. You can find these wherever you want. I have Envato, a subscription service where you can get as much stock footage and videos as you need, and templates, and that goes a long way. You can get so much imagery out of these sites. And Audio Jungle, yeah, Audio Jungle is a part of Envato. It always was. It always was. It's part of the Envato umbrella. So yeah, I have songs on Envato, and I have their subscription service. But there are so many subscription services. You've probably seen a million just in your travels. You've probably seen so many, you know, pay X amount for a year of access to our library of stock photos, videos, and sound effects. Envato is great, but if there's another service that you want to use, go for it. But Envato is really, really good. Really good. In fact, should I show you Envato? Shall we have a look here? Oh, we're going to get to this in a minute, by the way. Oh, there's something I wanted to do before we move on. Hold on. So coming up tonight, I'm doing Discord video calls, as you all know. I almost forgot about this. So I'm going to put all tickets on sale for, hey, Sunny D, Sunny Me. So what we're going to do is we're going to finish up this OBS tutorial. And when we're done, I'm going to take the first video call as soon as we have our stage constructed. So I am going to put tickets on sale now, Sunny D, Sunny Me. So if you want to talk to me live on stream on a Discord video call tonight, as it says here, talk to Carl, join the Discord, and purchase a ticket. So look at your channel point redemption options. I'm going to turn on the tickets in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Tickets for Discord video calls are now on sale using channel points. Check your channel point redemptions, and ye shall see. All right. There you go, Handsome Will. Homies. Omega Robot. Hey, Chick Hen Fouquet. Great to see thee. Golf Fox. Great. Oh, this is going to be a fun night. So if you want to talk to me tonight on a Discord video call, go to your channel point redemptions and you'll see an option there. This is the best chance to get in on one of these calls, by the way. Now, let's get back to the action. Okay, so this is what Envato looks like. I don't know if you can... Let me make sure you can scroll down far enough. Yeah, this is what Envato looks like. You can find all kinds of neat stuff. Like, I don't know, let's say... Okay, do we need anything for our set? You know, I have a bunch of assets. Hey, Psycho Teddy. I have a bunch of assets ready to go. But let's say we were gonna do... Someone give me an example of a set they want to make for OBS. Anything. Something Halloween. So, Halloween background. All right. Well, let's get a little more specific. Let's go to photos and just type in Halloween. Hey, Psycho McNasty. How much is a sub to that site? I don't know. Maybe like $100 a year or something, but I use it so much. Okay, so here you go. Here's something you could work with. And here's the thing. Yes, you can find images on Google search. I do that all the time. In fact, a lot of the assets I'm going to use, I didn't find on this site. I got them just from Googling. But what's great is look at the dimensions here. You're getting 4,000 by 3,000. So you can zoom in pretty close and still get really good quality. That's why Canva, there you go. Canva, or there are so many services out there. Heck ton. But I'm going to be focusing on stuff I pretty much got off of Google. Speaking of which, I'm going to give you this link already, but I'm sure it'll come up again. If you want to get the move transition, here's the link for that. But we'll be going over transitions in a minute. Okay. Tekalode, great to have you, by the way. So here are my assets. These are kind of left over from the past, but we need something that we can use for us being on stage with the wizards and mages. So let's check out. This is something I just found. Okay, see, this is a nice stage. It's not quite. It's a little low res because if you zoom in at all, no, it's not that bad actually. You throw a sharpener on there, you could make it work. You know what, let's mute that. Let's keep that on the back burner, but I also have a background here, which should be, see, this is nice and high res. Hey, Psycho McNasty. I want to be a wizard as well. You've joined on a really appropriate night, Psycho. I'm doing an OBS tutorial right now. So there we go. We got some soccer stuff in the background. That's okay. It'll be covered up. That's okay. And what do I have? I have a stage, right? What's this? I've used this asset before on one of our previous events. Okay, this also isn't that high res. But I have some other assets that can work on this as well. Like I've got like a staircase, some speakers we can put on stage, and other stuff. Yes, Psycho, it definitely will. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to leave that background. I like this. It's nice and high res, and it looks like you're in a field. That's great. I'll type big field. What's this? Okay. So we're going to try, let me open up Photoshop. All right, so we're one step closer. We've got a field. We've got a field, okay? We're in an environment. This is a step in the right direction. I'm just going to get Photoshop going here. Last time I did this, are we going to play ball? Yeah, that'd be great. Last time I did this, I used After Effects, which is doable. Absolutely doable. Okay. So let's have a look at this. We have Photoshop. We have our stage here. I'm gonna need this for the show. Let's see if the auto selector will work. If it doesn't, we get a little more manual with it. It should though. Auto selector is great. Okay. Just cut that out. And paste and remove the background. Okay, so there we go. This is an asset right there. We've got a stage. Boom. Hey, Kevin Heck Art. Good to see thee. Let's get a little music going as well. I mean, this is great, but If we could get a little background music. Just to have fun. Okay. So, we have an asset. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. I've got gates and stuff, so we can leave those. And I'll show you how we get around these being in the front when we get there. But let's spruce it up a little while we can for my Photoshop users. I do have a logo for Portex Fest, but let's do a good old-fashioned font thing here. Let me know if you guys can see this clearly or if you want me to change doing what I'm doing in a certain way. So let's try some blending modes on it. Okay, that's kind of nice. Exclusion. And let's lower the opacity a little bit. In my opinion, you want me to rotate it a little? Like that? Just a smidgen? It's all about making it look realistic and not perfect, in my opinion. My shadow, this? I have an extra light. It's not on right now, but don't worry. It'll be all blended in soon. All right, are you seeing this? Okay. So in my opinion, when you want to make something look realistic, I lower the opacity on background elements, not foreground elements or anything like that. You don't want things to look like a ghost. But when you're talking about like putting font onto something that looks like this, I think lowering the opacity a little bit will just help it look like it's a thing that might actually exist. Whereas this, the colors look so stark, it looks like a computer thing. But if we lower that opacity just a smidgen there, see, it gets this more built-in look on top of the blending mode, of course. Also, let's add a little contrast. You can't go wrong with just adding a little contrast, can you? To everything. Okay. All right. Lower the brightness a little. Raise the brightness? No. Okay, maybe raise it a smidgen. Contrast. And another thing about contrast, I should say, and we're going to go over this when it's dropped into OBS more. Not only do you want to get your contrast with good, make it look good to begin with, obviously, but once it's in OBS, sometimes you have to turn it down. Sometimes you have to make it look worse because you're trying to make things look realistic. And in reality, sometimes they just don't look super colorful. Well, it depends on what you're blending with in the background too. If what you have in the background isn't super sharp contrast, it's not going to feel like it makes sense. It's just going to stand out too much, but we'll get there. All right, now let me get my Portex Fest logo. Where is that? I'm just being careful here with what I show because I have some stuff that's going to be used on Portex Fest night I don't want you guys to know about. I don't want you to be spoiled. So I'm just looking through some folders. I should have prepared this ahead of time, but all I'm doing is looking for stuff to drop in. You know what that looks like. Loading, loading, loading. There it is. No, 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 not the whole gob darn folder. Oh, God. It's always something. Look, just this. There we go. Oh my god, what is going on? No. Stop. X. Sorry about that. Okay. So, I've got this logo here. This is a pre-made asset. I'm sure you've seen me use it many times. And we're going to just put this on the back wall here. It's from extra decoration. And as you can see, it's just a stark white logo. Let's go to blending options. You know this window, blending options. Let's keep it visible. And let's see if we add a little bevel. Maybe a little more bevel, a little less bevel. Oh, there we go. Just a little bevel. And a little shadow. Not too much. Gonna lower that opacity. All right. Let's increase this size a little bit. Just experimenting here. Looking for a way to add a little depth without it being overwhelming. And let's make it look a little more interesting with a gradient, I guess. What color scheme are we going for? Maybe a little blue. Blue and purple is always nice. Okay. How about we try yellow? I kind of like how the yellow looks on that font down there. Try an orange. This is decent, but let's make the thing here even more yellow. I know that looks very sharp right now, but as I said before, you kind of take some of that out with opacity. And now we're going to blend this hecker. Make it look more built in. Let's do exclusion again if we used it last time. And we're going to lower that opacity. See, you can make it disappear. We don't want it to disappear, but we want it to look realistic. So it feels like it should be even more faded. Let's go to hue, saturation. What if we lower that down a little more? Is that not even working? Oh, it's because it's being overrid. We're overriding it with the blending options. So let's go back here and oh, what if we blend from here? What do we get? Oh, that's kind of interesting actually. Ah, okay. Ooh, that's nice and grimy and dark. I kind of like that actually. And let's opacity that a little bit. Great. That looks a lot more realistic to me anyway. That looks like something that would actually be hanging on the wall as opposed to just white image. Let's add a little something here too. What if we add a, let me zoom in here and see what this looks like. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm just experimenting. I want to see if we add a little something to this down here. If we add a little bevel. How's that look? Okay, that's kind of fun. I don't know if it looks more realistic, but if we take away a little bit. Let's get a little texture. Just do a baby smidgen of bevel on there. Okay. So this is looking like a fun stage. What other little quirks and fun things can we throw on? I don't really have any assets prepared. So let's just go with this. This is our stage. Looks good to me. So I'm going to close Photoshop and bring it into this world. Oh, here's something I suppose I should show. So you see how there's a checkered background behind what I'm doing? See how there's like checkers? The little white and gray checkers there? Here, let me get closer. See, that means it's a transparent background. So, you want to keep that. That's very, very important. You can't export a JPEG. Do I look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog. Yeah. Oh, here's something I might want to do. Let's go to blending options. Oop. And you see down here, right under the first thing, you've got this white and black thing. You can kind of suck out the white. You see, we just see how on the security scaffold there was like a white thing that might make it a little more difficult to make it realistic. But if you can suck out some of that white, that can really help in the long run. Not too much, but you can get a good amount. Is there any more over here? Okay, that looks a lot better. Good, good, good. Okay, now you want to go to export, not save as, export as, and this is where it's key. Okay, if you're making an asset that you don't want the white background there, you just want it exported exactly how it looks on Photoshop, the way you cropped it, you're going to want to go to Format, PNG. Makes it a little bigger, but that's okay. And make sure we're here where it says transparency, that must be checked. All right. And then you just hit export, which I will do now. And then we will get that follow and bring it into OBS. Okay, so here it is. Boom. It's a little small. In an ideal world, this would have been way bigger. But now, this is where my imagination just comes in. I want you to really imagine you're looking at this like you've been to a concert, right? Imagine you're looking at this. First of all, I would say, you know, here's something important. Lock your stuff down. The field looks the field looks correct, right? I mean, in real life, that's how the field would look. You know, let me clear everything out of the way so we can really get a good look here. This is what... Wait, what is this? Okay, no. This is what the field should look like, right? Now you can, if you eyeball it and say, okay, you see how the very bottom here, you know, this area right here, this is not right. I mean, you could tell the perspective, you'd have to be like down low to the ground. So drag it down until the perspective looks like if you were actually looking at something. Okay, standing up. Okay, that looks about right to me. And luckily this photo is huge, so you can do this. That looks about right. Now, I'm going to lock that exactly where it should be so that nothing you do changes it. It's just going to stay there. If I highlight and try to move it, nothing happens. This is very, very, very important. Okay? If you have an asset exactly where you need it to be, lock it. Lock it right up. Don't make the mistake I've made. When I show you what comes next, you'll realize how important that is. You cannot have anything move up or down at all. It's got to be exactly exactly right. It has to be there, okay? It's very important. So where's our stage? Is it this one? No, this is that other one. Let's get rid of that. We don't want that anymore. We're done with that. And what do we have? This is the old one, right? Yeah, we don't need that. We can get rid of that. What's this? The new one. Yes. Okay, this is good. So I'm going to take this away and take myself away even. And now, Julie, hi. Good to see thee. Oh, Julie, I'm sure this is basic stuff for someone like you. My goodness, Julie is a hecking legend. So just, it's like you're putting together a paper doll puzzle, a paper doll set. How do you make this look correct? How do you make it look in perspective, in proportion? I mean, it's all subjective, but you just look into your mind and really, really think about, if this were real, what would this look like? If this were really, really real, would it be that big? Would it be that big? I'm thinking like this. Look at the grass. How big is the grass compared to the bottom of it? I think, honestly, this looks about right to me. That looks about right. All right. Now, I have some other assets. These are, you know, I'm always on the hunt for good assets. If I ever come across anything on Envato, on Google, or anything, I pluck it up, put it in a folder, and then when I'm ready to do something like this, I've got it all ready to go. So this is all just stuff I had. What's this? Let me take a look. Ooh, see, this could be something. If I didn't... Huh. Okay, let me do this. We're going to take this away. And we're going to open that on Photoshop. Just to see what we can do with it. This is very experimental. I usually wouldn't do this. Usually I would do all this behind the scenes, and then when I'm ready, put it all together. But I think this could be fun to do in front of everyone. Okay. What if I just try to grab all this? No, it's the selection thing is not working very good. It's an interesting... Golf Fox, thank you very much. And Venom, good to see thee. Oh, Meadow, so good to see thee. Thank you so much. Hope you're doing well. You know, just saying. Just saying. Got a couple bracelets here. So yeah, honestly, here's the thing. Like, I could grab some of these elements, maybe just the couch. But if I'm trying to grab something kind of quick and the automatic selection tool doesn't work, let's see what result to get. Yeah, look, it's just giving us... Like, what am I going to do with that? I just give up. Let's just move on to the next attempt. We don't really need it. I just want to check it out. Okay, so here we go. Here's a stage. So I guess the next step would be, let's make it look like I'm on the stage, right? So again, look at this with your eyes and think, if this were real, where would I be? I think about that big, right? Again, you don't want to be too small because you want to have some kind of recognition of the face. But this looks about realistic to me. Now, I know it looks odd because there's no desk in front of me. I do have a desk, but if I'm not mistaken, this one is not going to work because the perspective is not right. This is sort of facing up. Oh, look, I broke my own rule. Hold on, I broke my own rule. Lock down the stage. I'm so thankful they added Control-Z to undo stuff on OBS. Oh my god. So I have this desk here. I don't think it's going to quite work because the perspective is off, right? I mean, this would be if you're looking down because you can see the top of the desk, whereas the stage is facing up, so this doesn't work. So that's not going to work. But let's go ahead and go to my normal set here. And let me just copy and paste my desk. In fact, I'll just copy and paste everything. The eye and yeah, everything. Let's have a look here. So I'm going to I know this probably doesn't help for a tutorial, but these are assets from other scenes I have. I highlighted them and I held controller so that I could highlight like 5 things at once. Also, if you highlight one and then scroll down, like let's say you have 5 things you want to copy in a row. Scroll down. Well, first, highlight the one you want, scroll down, hold shift, boom. Now they're all selected. This is something you can do on anything, not just OBS. So you can either hold shift to select a row, or let's say you want them not in order. Hold shift, you got 1, 2, and 3. Now you can just copy and paste those all at once. So that's what I just did. And I'm gonna paste my desk stuff right here. There we go. There's my desk. Now, as I said, typically I'm gonna want to keep all this together. Let's get rid of the iWave for simplicity. We don't really need that. We can get rid of this desk, not using that. Okay, so obviously, typically I would want to keep everything together, but because of the way this is going to work out, I don't think I'm going to do that. So let me get this desk looking somewhat realistic in front of me. Okay, that looks about right. Now we have our communication crystal. Also, I want to get this on the right side, so that would be here, right? My computer. Okay, so I know this is kind of hard to see. We're kind of working with a situation where it's hard to see what you're doing, but again, just squint and honestly think, if this were real, we don't need the books tonight. If this were real, what would it look like? So we're going to take all our crystals, scrunch them down to cover my picture, and we need the crystals on top of the desk. So we're going to move them up in the priority row, and that looks about right to me. Yeah, that's true. Honestly, the perspective isn't perfect, but it's a lot better. And we could do this. We can hold hold Alt. When you hold Alt and scroll, you're actually getting rid of stuff. And this is a way you can easily, let's say you have a camera and you have like your dog next to you and you want to quickly, hide them, and then, oh, dog's doing something. Let me scroll back. You can see him. And then scroll back so you have more screen area, for example. All right. And speaking of which, since this is a special event, let's right click. Go to our desk here. I've got so many filters on everything. Let's add another one. And let's change this a little. It's a summer event. Let's do like a yellow desk, I think would be nice. Oh, you don't want that. Brightness. When you turn up brightness, it doesn't look good. You want to do that with contrast. Here we go. That looks, yeah, that's more fun. Do you keep things like the desk and crystal in a scene? That's a great question, Meadow. That is a great question. So I used to, and I think you should. That's a great question, Meadow. So often what people will do is they will make, for example, if you wanted just this, you can make this just a scene in itself, and then you can drop this anywhere you want by doing add scene. So this is what? Scene 2, because it's not named. I guess you can't add it to itself, but yeah, you can add it just as a whole. Hey, Socks, as a whole scene, a nested scene, as they call it. And I didn't do that this time, but you absolutely can do that. All right, so let's bring our background back in. So here we go. This pretty much looks like a stage that I'm on, but I will say this. There's a problem with these gates in front of me, but I have a solution to that. In the past, I made gates just for this. And let's drop these into, see what we have. These are just assets I've made in the past that I've collected. Ah, okay. So here's something we can maybe use as a foreground element. See, these are speakers. I'll show you this. There are many ways to do this, but this is how I would do it. You know, you just hold Alt. That looks about right. Now we want these gates on top to make it look like everything is sealed in. I'm a big fan of layers. Layers are so important, in my opinion, because layers give you this sense of depth that really sell the effect. All right, this is probably too big. Yeah, this is covering. That looks actually not bad. Do you find nesting scenes helps optimize CPU usage by OBS? Optimizing after building elements is my biggest struggle. That optimizing is a big problem. It might. It very well may. For me, when it comes to saving, I know we're kind of jumping ahead, but when it comes to saving CPU, I try to just make everything as baked in as possible. That seems to cut down for me. Like, if I ever can do something like, I don't know, have a way to combine a scene, like, I don't know, here's an example. So in Cackle Tavern, we have so many stickers and avatars, and this sucks up a lot of CPU because there's so many, everything here is like an individual element. And sometimes when I need to just absolutely lower my CPU because it's getting really bad, I will go through here and combine elements, like make sure all the stickers are actually on the walls and not floating around as elements. Sometimes I will permanently bind an avatar to where they are and make that the actual picture. So the more I can make all the background elements combined and minimize it in that aspect, the better. And I know that's so tricky because I have so much focus on layers. So it kind of works against each other, but alas, that's the best way that I can get rid of CPU. So right here, what I'm doing is, I hate, you know, running out of CPU. It's awful. I mean, gosh, I wish I had a better answer about how to deal with CPU running out, but. That's the best solution I've found. It's just minimizing your elements. I'm gonna make these gates smaller because if these were real, they'd be a little bigger than that. They'd be at least this big, I think. Okay. And now I'm just gonna copy and paste, get 2 of them, and we're gonna find like a good meeting point, and then we're gonna hold Alt, and just trim it over to where no one can really notice the gap. I think right about there should be good. Yeah. Now, remember, I keep saying this. Oh no, it's already getting scattered. I keep saying this, but it's true, and I hate having to say it because I learned it the hard way. Lock your layers down. Lock, 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 lock the mic. Why not? Lock it all. All right, so this looks like this is a pretty good stage. Now, there is one thing I should say about copying and pasting in OBS. As you can see, we have 2 gates here. And I'm going to go ahead and group them together. Hey, Denim Blonde. Call it gates. We'll lock that too. Now, here's the thing. If you right-click, there are going to be 2 ways to copy. See, one says reference, one says duplicate. Reference means if you add an effect or change it, it's going to change along with it. A duplicate means an entirely new thing that will not change with it. So for example, I did reference. By default, it's reference. So if you make a change to one thing. So if you ever run into the situation where you're like, wait a minute, I copy and pasted, but I want to do it separate. Why is it exactly the same? You've got to make sure you right click and go to paste duplicate. And you'll know you did it. Here, I'll show you, for example. It's going to add a 2 at the end of the name. So if you scroll to the very end, it has the file name and then 2. That's how you know for sure. Make sure you go to duplicate. This troubled me a lot. I know this is seems like such a simple thing. I'm going to go ahead and group them together, and You know, orange is good. 'Tis the season. It's Halloween. But, you know, I think we're going for more of... let's try more of a blue feeling on the gates. Oh, that's nice. I like that. But I also will say it feels a little unrealistic to me. So let's lower that saturation. Long time no see. Yeah, hanging out in the city. So if we lower that saturation, you can see it gets a little more realistic. Does it pop out as much and look as cool? No, but you know, sometimes this is one of those examples where you have to make something look worse to make it look better because you're making it look like it matches the rest of the scene. Now, I will say this. You can right-click and add a filter to the whole scene. But I'm going to tell you why I don't do that in a second. I'll show you just for example. See, now everything is more colorful. But watch what happens if we do a transition. Okay, bad example. Let's try a different transition. Oh, wait, wrong one. Okay, everything's getting wacky. All right, you have to reset. Let's see if we do like a different transition. Let's see what happens. Aha, see? The effects turn off if you're doing an advanced transition. So I don't do that. What I would do instead is, first of all, let's turn this off. What I would do instead is group everything. And grouping is very, very valuable. I'm about to show you why. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to, first of all, ungroup these. Boom. Oh, wait, I just realized. Okay, sorry, I'm experimenting. I'm sorry, we got to change the color again, but as you can see, it's going to change for both of them because I did reference mode instead of duplicate, so they're the same. Okay, now what else do we have in a group? We want to get rid of all the groups. Make everything... Now, I know, you know... okay, the crystals... Let's ungroup those. This won't affect other scenes, at least I hope. Let's see, are they still here? And grouped? Yes, okay. It won't affect other scenes. So now that we're ungrouped, we can get rid of the other crystals. I don't think we'll need those today. Okay. Now... what else do we need? I'm going to need an alert box. And I'm going to want reverb. And I'm going to want... Wait, you guys, are you even hearing music on this scene? I don't think you are. Maybe it's for the best. You should be hearing music now for sure, though. All right, so I just copied and pasted in all this wacky stuff here. We have my audio, my reverb, and the alert box. And there was music for? Oh, okay. Interesting. Now, what I do for reverb is I know we're jumping ahead a little bit. I have a reverb plugin, Dragonfly. This is free, by the way, a free VSC, Dragonfly Room. These are my settings. And I have it on a mic. So let me show you what happens if I turn off my mic. But what I do is I have a normal mic, and this is pure reverb. So if I want more reverb, I just turn it up. And then if I want less reverb, I just turn it down. So I'm constantly in control of how much reverb I'm getting. And this is, you can change this on the fly. You can change your settings and make it even more precise. But yeah, I have technically 2 mics outputting now. One of them is completely drenched in reverb. The other is normal. And together, you get something that sounds like this. Now, I've got a whole lot of audio plugins here. This is basically what my chain looks like. We can go over this more later. I have a noise suppressor. This is built in on OBS. We have an EQ that is cutting a couple of frequencies here. We're cutting the 5K and 200, and there's a overall low pass filter there just to take all the low rumbling out, which you don't need rumbling. And I've got another EQ that's boosting up at the shiny area a little bit, and a little bit of a low boost just for, you know, like a low voice. Hey, how you doing? And some more clarity. I've got a compressor built in. I've got this is another wacky compressor. This is kind of experimental, but here are my settings on the wacky compressor, as I call it. This magic button, I don't know what it does. I have no idea what this does, but I love it. Hello. Hi. This is the magic button. How's it sound? Pretty neat, huh? Pretty fun. And a limiter. Just a basic limiter to make sure, like, stuff is cut off. All right. Those are my audio effects. So this is what we have now. I know we're jumping back and forth a lot. This is what we have now. We have a whole bunch of singular... See, this is all just singular things, no groups. And I'm going to show you why groups are so amazing. We have all this stuff. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to group all of it. Group every single thing. Ah! Oh no! Hello! If you're still here, we crashed out. Welcome back. Welcome back. Sorry. You know, technically, to be honest, I should not have kept Photoshop and all that stuff open at the bottom while I was doing this. That is going to create an issue. The magic button. Exactly, Sully Vegan. Okay. So, I didn't mean to put the desktop into that group. So as you can see here, it says the big group. This is everything, and the whole scene is here. In that group. Oh wait, we don't want that. We won't. See, I'm already hecking up. We don't need the alert box in the group. We don't need reverb in the group. We don't need the music in the group. Just the visuals, okay? Now. Oh wait, the mic is still in there. God darn it. Mike, get out of there. Okay, just the visual stuff. No audio stuff in the group. Get all your visual stuff in this one big group. Okay? Now, you're going to right-click, duplicate. Scene 2. You're going to do it closer. Okay? You get me closer to gobs. Now, we have one scene. We have two scenes. They're both exactly the same. But we have control of this entire group. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this group way bigger. Way bigger. All right? Make this a huge scene so that it's much, much bigger. Enhance. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is a lot better. Now you can actually see me on stage. That's what we're looking for. Make it even bigger. Bigger. Okay. There we go. I'm going to take this away so you have a better shot. So this is what we have. We have scene 1 and scene 2. All right. Oh, wait. I have the wrong one labeled. Let me switch that. This one we want to just call it scene 2. Okay. So what we have here are... So as you can see, this one has a group called the big group. This one has a group called the big group. And if you take them away, you lose everything. You can keep your alert box, your chat box, your mic, all your audio, and everything that's not visual. Keep that out of the group. So as you can see, we have two groups here. And as you can see, with this transition here, we can actually zoom in because they're exactly in the same spot. Everything is locked exactly where it should be. So here's one clinker about this method. You might notice I'm not as high quality as I should be. You might notice everything is a little more grainy. And if you can deal with that and you want to keep everything in the group, that's fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to ungroup. Boom. Now go back to the other one. And you're going to see when one is ungrouped and one is grouped, it's not going to work. It changes like it's a totally different scene. But let's ungroup this one too. So now they're both going to be ungrouped. So we went from a big stack of stuff, we grouped them, and then we ungrouped them. But now, when we do this transition, look at the quality when we get close. You see, everything is staying in quality. We're not getting super grainy with how I look. And there you have it. This is how I do a lot of my transitions and sets. Now, if you're asking, hold on a minute, Carl DeLinden, you're moving ahead of me. How the heck did you move in OBS? Well, check out that link I'm posting right now, and that will take you to a place where you can install what's called the move transition. Now, I've got a lot of move transitions. I've got many, many transitions, and I'm going to go over how to make them next. Who's ready for the next section? First things first, though. I want to clean this up a little bit. I just want to clean this up. First of all, I want to point out the layers here. Number one, you've got me. I'm in the back. Well, no. Actually, way in the back is the field. Okay? Way in the back is the field. That's layer one. Layer two is the big stage, which we made in Photoshop. The next is me. Now, keep in mind, every layer adds an element of realism. Because people can tell, okay, the stage is in front of the grass, and that looks right. And then, I'm in front of the stage, but now I've also got this desk in front of me, and in front of that is the crystal, and then these speakers add another layer of depth on the stage, and then the gates just seal the deal, and it really makes you think, wow, you're actually behind the gates, which are behind the desk with the gem, and behind you is a stage, and behind that is a field. Now, earlier on, Meadow asked me, how do you save CPU? Okay, if I wanted to save CPU, I would merge this and this. We don't need these separate. We don't need these assets to be separate at all. And I would merge the desk, the crystal, and the gates, and the speakers. I'm not going to do that today because, this is a tutorial. But if I were to use this permanently, I would merge this, and this, so that you just drop that on, and that's one piece. That saves a lot of CPU. And I would merge this and this, because these don't need to separate. They can stay together. All right, so let's bring all the elements back in. Layer 1, Layer 2, Layer 3 is me, Layer 4, Layer 5, Layer 6, Layer 7, Layer 8. Boom, 8 layers of fun. It's like a burrito. The crystal is hovering in front of the desk. Yes, the crystal I change, but if I were at low CPU, I would have to say, all right, it's fun having the crystal separate, but we're going to have to... Okay, one more thing before we move on that I want to do that might add a little quality. Our stage is looking a little not sharp. And again, it wasn't the highest res thing to begin with. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a sharpening effect. And this will help, but it's not going to do much. Just going to have a little bit more. This is cranked up all the way and it just looks ridiculous. You don't want that, but this is without. It's like the optometrist. Do you like better A or B? A or B? But we can go somewhere in the middle and get a little bit of help sharpening. That looks about human to me. Again, I could make this look better, but I want it to blend in and look like it makes sense too. Okay, so here we go. We have our scenes. Now, I suppose the one last thing I would want to do is go here and duplicate one more scene. And next, oh, do I have this asset? There's one more asset I want to pull in here. Just for one more shot. Okay, let me catch up on chat in a second. I'm just looking for one more thing that I think would help. I have pre-made something that will be very useful. Maybe I should just show you how to do it. But where is it? It should be here. So you remember how I showed you how to group everything together and then zoom in? But when I zoomed in, everything got really, really stretched out and almost ridiculous looking. So what I'm going to do on this scene is I'm going to make a super close-up. You guys know I love super close-ups. And we're going to get rid of everything we don't need. We don't need any of this because all you need in a super close-up, to be quite frank, is, and I'm going to have to unlock that, me. You just need me. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the super close-up. So we're just going to zoom in on this. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in. Well, that's kind of a fun angle. Here. How about this angle? Hi. Now, as I'm talking, you know, it'll look like I'm talking to the person next to me. And for this, I have a pre-created close-up. Here we go. See, this is literally all it is. It looks like a zoomed-in version of the wall, but it's really just this. And it's blurry because we're going for this sort of depth of field thing, and we're going to put that right behind me. So now if I cut, I've got 1, 2, 3. And it blends fairly well. You know, it's not perfect, but it has a similar look. And this is just, again, I could zoom in and manually add blur and stuff like that, but this is going to save... let's zoom out a little bit, actually. This is going to save a lot of CPU instead of doing it in the zoom in way. All right. Actually, no, this might have to be like even more close up for this background. Yeah, let's go even more close up. Uh-oh. Where'd it go? I went too far off screen. There I am. Okay. Now we're getting close. You know, you guys know I love my extreme close up. And you know the eyes are the portal to the soul. You want people to see your eyes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Looks good. Okay. Now, let's go over... oh, here's something I want to go over. I'm going to go to Settings. We're going to go to Hotkeys. And this is going to take a long time for me to load because I have a billion scenes, some of which I don't even want you to see the name of because some of them are hidden. But we're going to type in switch. Okay. Now, what was the name of what we were doing? Here, let's be more exact, actually. Let's go down here. Instead of scene 2, the generic name, let's call it Portex Fest 1. We'll make this one Portex Fest 2, and this one will be Portex Fest Extreme Close-Up. Boom. Okay. Now, we're going to go to Settings again. And Hotkeys. And we're going to type in... Oh. Any second now. Don't stall on me again. Switch. And what are we looking for? Okay, Portex Fest. You scroll down to P. Okay, so we're going to make this 1 on my numpad, 2 on my numpad, and 3. Now, as you can see, we have some conflicts. So I need to find those conflicts. Main room is one. I'll fix that later. We just get rid of those. And I think there's one called extreme close-up. Okay, and we just click apply. Now, I might be jumping ahead a little bit here, but I don't use a Stream Deck. I use a $10 numpad that I got on Amazon. And I just do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very simple. I don't... No alternate thing. This is Bluetooth... Or actually, this is USB. I want one. My Bluetooth one broke. So, and the thing is, I don't care because they're like $10. Who cares? You know, it's flimsy. It's light. And, yeah, just use a numpad. You have plenty of buttons, too. I mean, look at this. It's green, so you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, multiplier, the star sign, the divider sign, the subtraction sign. You got a lot of buttons on here. And if you lose this or it's out of reach, no problem. I have my keyboard, which I can also use the numpad on. No problem. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, if you wanted to know my button setup. Also, I have tons of, like, Alt-N is... In fact, let me line this up a little bit better. So I have, I mean, a heck ton of keyboard commands as well. But part of the process for me is optimizing to make sure that I can get as much as I can right here. Retro nicotine. It is... But also, I come from playing Ultima Online, where every spell you need like F1, F2, every F button, and then I had like literally every key command programmed. So I'm used to being ready to cast a million spells on command, and that's how I see it. These are all spells. In fact, some of them literally cast spells when you press them or do certain things in the room. So, you know, it's very similar to a video game. If you're used to having a game with a million hotkeys, it's very similar. It's good practice. So, let's also talk about, while we're talking about buttons, a big improvement for me, something that was a major game changer. Exactly. And Lieutenant Lynn's, when I add a new one or I change them and try to optimize them, I do mess up a lot. I mess up button presses all the time, but it's just like a game. You mess up. And in Ultima Online, it means you take a death. On stream, it means you mess up and people see you make a mistake, and that's okay. So here's a game changer for me, and I don't have a link, but you can just type in on eBay USB foot pedals. I've got... Last time I did this, I gave one of these away for free, by the way. I've got a 2-button one and a 3-button one. They do the exact same thing. I should have got 2 3s. But I was like, wait, but these look better. Maybe they're better. They're not. It's the exact same thing. And these are so good. Obviously, I step on them while playing music. So I have them optimized to be things that I want while playing music. So I've got the... Jeremy Arroyo, good to see thee. Welcome to my OBS tutorial. All right, come on in. So these are my foot pedals that I use, and not only are these great for streaming here, but coming up, we're going to be doing this concert stream where I'm going to be using these while playing guitar and singing live. Obviously, if you're playing guitar and singing, there's no chance you can press any buttons. So, you know, these harken back to when I was a young, when you're learning guitar and you've got a distortion pedal, a chorus pedal, a cutoff pedal, a wah-wah pedal. You know, when I play live now, it's just about the visual pedals. So I highly recommend these. I highly, highly recommend foot pedals. Amazing. Really great addition. And you know, even if it's just, oh, they're very cheap. Even if it's just for hanging out, and I'm not doing anything special. You just want to be able to talk and change camera angle and say, hey, how's everybody doing? How are we feeling? How's life? How's the wife? How are the kids? It's really convenient and has a great feel. They click right in. No problem. Now my wires are a little floppy down there. I'll fix those later. Yeah, you can, honestly, Ultimate Avatar, you can bind them to anything. You can bind it to be a mouse click. You literally can bind it to anything. Yeah. Did they slide away? No. No. I mean, maybe over like a long time they change positions, but no, that's not really an issue. I don't stomp on them too hard, you know. They're really, they feel like if you ever played one of those driving games that had like the wheel and stuff, it's like a cheap version of that, but it's in a cheap in a good way because it's very it's very easy. Click, boom. Hey, Tiger Productions. How fast? Well, I don't want to sell the vegan because that can cause OBS to crash, so we don't want to do that. Pope Griffin. Hi, thank you very much. Okay, so we've gone over set construction. And a little bit of transitions and controllers. Let me catch up on chat. I know Meadow had some questions. And if you have any questions, please fire them away now. Okay. Okay. For the overachievers in the class who are already using move transition, are you using motion transition? And when do you pick one over the other? Motion transition. I'm not using motion transition, I don't think. I don't even know what that is, to be honest. How do you avoid using 20 gajillion scenes because of needing to click back to a scene with a fade? Wait. How do you avoid 20 gazillion scenes because of needing to click back to a scene with a fade when you first cut to it with a move? So I think what you're asking, and correct me if I'm wrong, is how do you change transitions? I'm going to get into that, but can you explain that question a little more, Meadow? What do you mean by that? I'm not sure the 20 gazillion scenes thing. I'm not following this. Could you clarify? You can choose transition between from combo. Does that help? I'm gonna, so there is a matrix for transitions where you can set every scene to do something the same way every time. I don't do that. I am changing scenes. I'm changing transitions on the fly, and I'm gonna go over that in just a minute. Okay. Any other questions? Please fire them away. Anything you've ever wanted to know about what I do, this is a great time to ask. Foot pedals for splits. A lot of people do that. How many cameras? I have 2. I have what I call my nice one, which is this one, and this one is a... So if you're wondering about exactly what camera it is, it's a Blackmagic, of course, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K as the main one. Same Merchant has the same one, by the way, on his setup, and that's what we're going to be streaming through for Portex Fest. On the side, I have a Logitech Brio 4K. This is just a really... This is my webcam that I used to use, and I kind of beat it up. I've got it taped to this thing, and it's kind of like the Who Gives a Heck camera. I use it for whatever. I'm going to be using it for the alternate angle at Portex Fest. Since it's not that expensive and fancy, you know, it's fine. Whereas this camera over here, this one needs, you know, a lens. This one I do not heck with. This is the one I filmed the lore on and everything. So I've got the nice one and the side one. And, you know, look, it's not perfect. Look at that. It's not good frame rate. You choose between, you know, good quality or good frame rate. It's not great, but who cares, right? Okay. So the eye blinks, very simple. I've got a soundboard, and when I blink, I press the button. Meadow says, or, you know, if I want to say, what the f is going on? I just press the button. That's not real either. Meadow says, there are scenes that I might cut to with a move some of the time, but with a quick fade other times, faster cut. So I make duplicate scenes with other transitions, like move, then go to quick fade, then back to quick fade. Okay. That's interesting. What I do is, I have a ton of transitions, and I'm constantly changing. Like, for example, if all of a sudden I want to... This is a really fun transition. If I go to extreme bounce... By the way, all these names, these are custom transitions that I made. So the names, don't try to Google them. I'll show you how to make them, though. But I made an extreme bounce. Now, if I click to the outside one with my foot, by the way, which is the one all the way on this side, you're going to see it does this cool effect where it zooms all the way out while this one zooms all the way in. And now this is, you've probably seen me do this before, but if I do that again to my desk scene, now I can catch it in my hand. It goes right to it. Beautiful. And I'll show you how to make that transition. Now, let me get, I want to talk about this. So let's say I want to do a move. I click over to move, and then I press 1, or I can do this. Click on this, and you'll see we're going to go back. But now let's say I want to fade back into that one. I'm just going to go here real quick, fade, and we go back. That's how I do it. And I change. Here's another thing. You see how it's grayed out so you can't change right away? You can change the numbers though. Now here's an advanced technique that I use all the time. Let's say you want to do a transition, but halfway change what you're doing. So I'm going to change to this one and watch. I'm going to do a slow fade, right? Or no, even better. I'll do a slow bounce. So I'm going to load it up with ones. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, all ones. And we're going to bounce into this one. But watch what I do halfway. Halfway, I'm going to click, take away 2 of the ones, so it's just 3. And now, boom, I can come right back. So again, I can bounce slowly, take away the ones. And now, when I'm here, boom, go right to this one. So I know it's grayed out, and so it appears as though there's nothing you can do, but there is. You got to change that number to be lower and then hit another scene, and it will change to it. You change the transition on the fly instead of multiple versions of the scene with the transition override set. Yes, I don't use the transition override set. I was intrigued by the transition override thing and the matrix, and you know, there's like it's plug in a matrix where you can set everything individually, fade in, fade out, this one, that one. And I was highly intrigued by that for a while, but it started to just become more of a problem than a help, because so often I want to change the transitions too often. I never know if it's just going to be like this, and then maybe I want to, you know, I don't know. There were so many situations where it's like, wait, I don't want that to be that transition. I want it to be a slow transition this time. Because something else that I do is I have one called Weirdest. This is a very weird move transition, and if I select this and crank it all the way up, and let's say go to the tavern where I have a lot of separate elements, you'll see, I do this trick all the time. As soon as I click, you're going to see their assets show up, and everything starts moving around, not losing perspective, and you get this really cool movement thing going on. That's something I do I'm sure you've seen me do this many times. But this is another variant of the move transition. So I want to start going over transitions. Before I do, though, I want to cap off what I was talking about, buttons. I've got an amazing mouse. This mouse is called the UTech Smart Venus Pro RGB MMO Wireless. I know it's a long name and it sounds expensive and fancy, but it's not. This is very cheap. I only get cheap stuff because I like to smash it and not feel bad about it. This is like $20. I've got multiple. This has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 side buttons, all mapped to different scenes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So when I'm streaming, I have my feet going. My feet are changing scenes. I've got this hand doing these changes, and this hand's doing these changes. But you don't see me doing these because it's always down on the desk because it's the mouse. And it's meant for MMO. Also, you have a third mouse button on top. And yeah, this is a great mouse. Highly recommended. Again, it's the UTech Smart Venus Pro RGB MMO wireless. And how do you keep track of these? It's just memory. You know, I just get it into my head when I want to do this. When I want to go to the library, boom, I go to the library. How many months of memory? Oh gosh, good question. Years, I guess. Because it's not like I came up with all these at once. It was like, okay, I got the new mouse. Now I can add in these scenes. I just stream and I do what I think is right. It's like a video game. I do what I think is right. And sometimes go, oh no, wrong scene. I want to go to the dining hall, not the library. I want to do this, not that. And just over time, now I can't forget. I just know everything so clearly because I hit them over and over and over again for 10 hours a night. So good question though. But yeah, at first, I have to admit, it was like, oh no, I was hitting wrong scenes all the time. Do you use an external service for the chat activated spell commands? Yeah, we can go over spells. But yeah, I just want to go over these buttons. We'll go over spells after transitions. So transitions. First of all, I have this link for the move transition, and this is key to everything I do. OBS has a lot of stuff built in, but you need to get this dock right here, scene transitions. This is very crucial because I'm constantly changing here. Maybe I want to do this one. This good old fashioned. Did you practice offline with mouse buttons? I used to do practice back when I was just using this. Back when I was just using this, and this is probably back in like 2020 when I first started getting into hotkeys. So it's been a long time since I did offline practice streams. After that, it's just like adding in a new thing. Like when you play an MMO and you get a new spell, you don't go back and relearn them all, but you start to implement that new spell. And so it's like, okay, I have one new button. Let me get this one new button down tonight. And, we'll just get that in the memory. Also, it's a lot about optimization. It's about if I want to do something and my thumb automatically goes to 9 for this screen, then I just make it 9. If there's something my brain says, oh, if I want to do that, I should do this, and my thumbs automatically go to something, I just make it that. I go to what my brain is kind of feeling like the order should be. And then a process of, dang, tonight I didn't really use that scene. I should take that off of this, maybe put it on the mouse button, maybe make it an alt command. The least used ones are alt commands. The second tier of used ones are these or the foot pedals. And then the ones I use the most are always on here. And it's a process of realizing, okay, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 6 being this effect, which we can go over as well. So let's talk about transitions. So get the move, download that link. This is very important. This is so key. If you want to do, this is my basic move transition. And then you set the number very high, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. I just do all ones. You could do 9s, but you won't. It's like capped at 10,000, I think. So 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. You can only do 4. But 1s, you can do 5. So when I want a long transition, I do all 5 1s. And now I'm going to click Portex Fest 1, which is 1 on my hotkey pad. And as you can see, a slow move transition, as long as everything is locked in place, grouped, grown and then ungrouped the way I showed you earlier, it will do that. If you try to do something like, if you try to make a close-up set and then make a far away set and do it like by eye and be like, oh, that looks about right, it's not going to work. It's just not. I mean, you have to lock it, group it, and then, stretch it and then ungroup it. Trust me. I've done this many, many times. Learn from my mistakes. Don't try to do it just by eyeballing and like, okay, this looks about right. That will not work. You have to start with your wide shot, group it, do your next one, stretch it, and then ungroup both of them. So go from just a lineup of singular assets, group, stretch, ungroup on both. This is a process that, believe me, has saved me so much stress. It is so convenient. If you try to do it the hard way, it's going to be a never-ending trial and error process to get it to even look decent. And I've fallen into that a lot. And I used to think like, dang, I can never reset my scenes because it took me so long to get these into the right place. But this process makes it so easy. It really does. In fact, I'll do it one more time just to show how important this is. So as you can see, we have all these elements. We don't need alert box, mic, reverb, evo box. That's my main sound. And we don't need this. This is like, you know, the OBS. But we have gates, we have speakers, crystal, desk, camera, and the background. So group all your visual elements together. And you're going to call it big group. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Now, duplicate the scene. And stretch it out so you get closer. So drag it all the way down so you see the little red size thingies. Stretch it out. Make it bigger and bigger. Let's see what it looks like now. Let's get even closer. Let's get even closer. Remember, this is just a group. We're not moving singular assets. This is all one group. Okay, so now we have this shot. Now we're going to go here, ungroup. Boom. And as you can see now, it's totally perfectly lined up. And we can ungroup this one as well. And let's put these like this and call this one Vortex Fest 2, no, Vortex Fest 3. There we go. So we have 1, 2, 3. And if we do our move transition, as you can see, it's going to line up perfectly. It's going to slowly and gradually, everything looks like it's in the same spot. See the gates, the desk, the crystal, everything is locked. And you can even go from 3 to 1. So let's go back to 3 and go back to 1. Meadow, that is a struggle. So that's a great question about how to deal with when things are grouped. And what I can say is, well, real quick, let me go from 3 to 1. Here's what I would do if I were you. Now, of course, there's the easy way and the hard way to line things up. The hard way is not fun. But since, for example, I have some spells grouped together, so if I go to my main room here, this is like my main... When I do any kind of spells or new features, it's always tested here, which is also why any new spells are also in this room. But I'm going to go ahead and... I have a group of spells. Where is it? Where is it? Just going to get basic spells in here. Interactive. Here we go. It's called Interactive Magic. Just a group of spells. Now I'm going to paste that in. Boom. Here we go. So I've got Explosion, Moongate, Heal, and Flame Strike. Now Meadow is asking, how do you deal with doing that if you've got so many groups you can't group a group? What I would do is, you know, I would do it the hard way. And it sucks. It's not ideal. But, you know, I would leave this one here. Make sure the alert box is always on top, of course. And on this scene, for example, I'm going to copy and paste that in. And, okay, this is actually not bad. But since we're already ungrouped... Okay, yeah, let's move everything, like, over. So we're just going to grab this group. See, I'm moving the whole group by moving this weird thing up here. Okay. Let's make it so heal is kind of going on me. So up and to the right. And let's try that again. Okay. Is it ideal to do it this way? No, it is not. But if you have stuff that's grouped, yeah, that's fun. It looks like it's landing on the table. Where is this opening up? Okay. Now, see, I have interactive magic in a group here. I'm just going to drag this down and kind of try to get it back to, you know, where it should have been to begin with, since I couldn't bring all this in. Okay. All right, yeah. Okay, since that's not on the desk anymore, which I could unpack these and do them one by one, but let's just lower everything a little bit here. Yeah, it's a lot better. This is looking a lot more accurate to what it's like in the main room. You take out the groups, group the remaining ones to make your zoom, then add the group. Yep. Yeah, I know that's not ideal, but yeah. Is the chat command to open the cube programmed? Oh, good question. Good question. How's it going, Walkins? By the way, the new Botchamania episode starts with a parody of Guy Fieri. Was thinking of you. I was going to send it to you, actually. How you doing today? Okay, so what was the next thing? Okay, transitions. Let's talk about transitions. As you can see, I've got a ton of customized transitions. Some of them are stingers, which means you upload graphics. Like, for example, this would be a stinger. And this, let's see, this would be, you know, a transition. So let me show you how to do a transition. See this plus sign down here? We're going to go to that. And then you get a basic choice of what kind do you want to add. A fade to color, no. Not Luma wipe, no. A stinger, if you have previously made graphics, okay. Slide, no. Swipe, no. Move is the one we're looking for. Move. So let's call it Portex Tutorial Move. Okay, here's a fun menu. So first thing I do is I look at the easing. If you're used to ease in and ease out on After Effects, it's the same thing. Now, if you know what ease in and ease out, it gives it like a slope. When you're coming into the final, it's like... And that's not good for some things. You know, you don't want to have a whoosh when you're, you know, doing a very basic move. So I would turn that off. But for experimentation, let's leave it on. And these are, you can experiment with this. You know, it really doesn't matter. There's different ways to ease in and ease out. Okay, transition. What is this? No, we don't. Why is it asking that? We don't need that. Transition scale type. Max only. Aspect. Stretch. So this is asking, do you want stuff to move with it? Or do you want it to stay exactly the same as it's moving? So stretch is like a weird one. Let's do a weird transition. We'll do stretch. Curve. Okay. Curve is... Did you ever notice that when the plane on the overhead map, when you're parking like A, B, C, D, E, it doesn't just go straight to it. It kind of goes in like a curve. It curves the transition. This is at 0, but let's add an extreme curve just so we can see what it does. All right. Appearing items. Okay, so matched items and appearing items. These are different things you can set. We're going to make them all wacky. Okay. So, position. This question is, where do you want stuff to come from? Remember I showed you the one where I catch it in my hand? I catch the image from outside, it shrinks, it goes in my hand. That means from the center. Away from the center means out. Bigger and bigger, goes away. But let's do something wacky. Let's do bottom right, so you can see it coming from the bottom. All right, we're going to add another extreme curve. And disappearing items, same thing, but stuff that's not going to be on the screen anymore. When you have stuff that's matching and you're moving in and out, that's matched. Disappearing stuff goes away, so we're going to do ease in and out. Easing function, sign. Again, do I know what this stuff means? No, but you experiment and you get cool results. Position, we'll do bottom, let's do top left just to be different. And curve, we'll crank that up. And you can preview the transition here. All right, this is our where we start, and then what, it's just going to swap, and then... Okay. All right, great. So there we go. We just created a new transition. Let's see what it looks like. Maybe this is one I'm going to start using. All right, so we're on this screen. Let's see what happens when we go to this one. Whoa, okay. Whoa, okay. Whoa. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not a good transition. Let's go to a different scene, see what happens. Whoa. Yeah, this is way too extreme, honestly. It's neat, but it is way too extreme. Let's go to like a totally different source now. Yeah, I mean, I set everything to be extreme, so I should have expected it, but yeah, this is not it. But as you can see, this is how you can make a transition. You can experiment with all those settings. As I said, you just hit that plus button right here, and you can go wild. Swipe is like it doesn't move things, but it's like when you see a shot in a movie when they, the screen goes and there's something else. Slide is like, I'll show you an example. I have a slide transition I made. This is one where the whole screen, you've probably seen me do this before, moves all the way up like this, which is good. I like the slide transition. And then there's, a lot of stingers, like blue wave is this one, stuff like that. And bounce is a very interesting move transition I made. You have to pump it up, absolutely. So I hope everyone got a lot out of this. This was something I wanted to go over a lot, are these advanced transitions. Any questions about the transitions? I think it's pretty straightforward. And it's very useful. The main thing is the setup. As I said, make your scene, group it, make it big, and then ungroup it. This process will save you so much time and struggle. You have to pump it up. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, the one to open the box. Nice try. So you want to go over interactive spells, though? We can go over interactive spells. Okay. I think that's good on transitions. As for interactive spells, this is TouchPortal. By the way, you can use TouchPortal also as a button device. I do have some buttons on TouchPortal, and you can use it on your smartphone. I'll show you what my smartphone setup looks like. Looks pretty much exactly the same as on the screen. All the buttons in the same spot. And if I want to go to the side gate, as you can see, it's the tan button. And if I just go boop, we go to the side gate. So you can, technically, if you want, you can use your smartphone as a controller as well. Now, I don't, because I just sometimes find it's just a little, see, look, it's even now, it's just a little not precise. It should be working a lot quicker than that. Sometimes there's like a delay. I don't know. But one thing I do know, these $10 numpads with a USB thing work perfectly every time. I've never, ever had a problem. How'd you get to be... No, you, Omega Robot. And let's have a closer look at TouchPortal, shall we? I've gone over this before, but I will again. So I recommend buying TouchPortal. You can use it for free. You can, but you get a very limited amount of things you can do. And I'll be honest, I never like to pay for stuff. I pretty much just, use the free version and stretch it to its maximum capacity. But for TouchPortal, so can you even see this? It's hard to, I can't see my own screen, so I don't even know what we're looking at. But see on the side here, you've got all these wacky things you can do. You can use this to control anything. Set volume, set profile, set scene filter, set replay buffer, and it works on pretty much everything. Input, utility, logic, stuff, you know, literally anything. So, for example, this is the most common one. Chat event, chat message event. There you go. Or we're going to click on event here. On pressed is like if you have a button that you just want to go bloop and it does something. It's a little laggy because I have a heck ton of spells. I really should have done a new window, to be honest. Actually, yeah, let me do it on a new window. Here. Okay. So, go to on event. And we're going to do chat. And on chat message event. If it's set to ASDF. Now we're going to go here and type in, let's see, what would ASDF do? Maybe let's see, what can we do? Let's look at our thing here. Here, let me just drop something in at random. We'll drop in a what? A musical note. Here we go. A musical note. By typing ASDF, you'll make the musical note appear. Okay? Now, one thing I do want to say, if you're making stuff on the fly, you need to go down here to your tray, right-click, and exit. No, restart TouchPortal. You're going to want to exit TouchPortal, let it reopen because it won't recognize new stuff. Like it won't be there. All right, we're going to go to page 2. Click here on event. Oh wait, did it erase our previous one? Yeah, it did. Okay. So we go right here. Chat message event, ASDF. Now we're going to do source, look for OBS, and set source visibility. Okay. We want 2 of those. And we want also, it's not going to happen immediately, so we want to type in wait and put that in the middle. So we're going to show, what is it? It's called like music note, right? Oh, wait. For this, you have to pick out the scene first, which is Portex Fest. Which one is it? 2, right? And the source is music note. There it is. So for the scene, Portex Fest 2, music note, boom. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. This is our logic so far. When everyone sends a Twitch message that contains ASDF, show for the scene Portex Fest 2, the source, music note. Wait for, and we're going to give it 5 seconds actually. 5 seconds. Then toggle it off. You can use hide, but toggle just removes a little bit of problems later. Trust me. We're going to toggle for the scene. Portex Fest 2, musical note. So here's the logic. Again, when everyone types a message that contains ASDF, show for the scene Portex Fest the musical note. Wait 5 seconds, then toggle for the scene Portex Fest 2 the musical note. So when someone types ASDF, this program will receive that transmission, and for Portex Fest 2, it will show a source, wait 5 seconds, and make it go away. Now, let's test it. And then there's one more thing I want to talk about, which is really interesting about doing this. All right, go ahead and type ASDF, and it should work. Is this a browser layer? No. Nope. Do you have this browser set to refresh when changing scenes? It's not a browser layer. I've noticed some scenes, some of them clogged. That's just because sometimes TouchPortal just can't handle all the spells at once. ASDF. Well, looks like it's not working. Why? Need to restart. No, it's there. Restarting is just to make... If I didn't restart, then this wouldn't be there. It would just be blank. There would be no music note. Let's see. Maybe make it show and hide. It really should be show and toggle. Nothing? Huh. Interesting. I don't know why that's happening. All right, idea. Let's go back to our main page. Maybe because it's not on here. We'll try doing the spell again. Let's go over here and all the way down. Okay. So again, we're going to do chat message event on chat message event. So when everyone types ASDF, type in source, set source visibility, get 2 of those, and a wait. Okay. Put that wait in the middle, give it like 5 seconds. For the scene, Portex Fest 2, we'll do that on this one as well. And the source, and since we did reset it, it is there. If not, it wouldn't be. Okay, and boom. Let's try it again. Wrong scene? No, I think it's the right scene. Hit me with an ASDF. There we go. Now it's decasting. This is so many people doing it at once. Okay, so I guess you got to be wary about what page it's on. I don't know. Okay. Now, I want to talk about something kind of fun about doing these spells is that you can, if you put the spells in a group, remember where it said you have to do it for a certain scene? If you, let's say for example, I put the musical note in a group, which I'll do that. Put this in a group. Call it just group 8, whatever. Now, I'm going to take this, and we're going to put that group here. And even though it's triggered to fire off on that scene, since it's in a group in that scene, it will still work. Give it a try. Is it working? It should work. Oh, I guess it's not working. Well, that's something that I do use regularly. Why wouldn't that work? Why wouldn't that work? Maybe I have to reset it. And then go back and change the source back to what it was. Because now it's in a group. Let's give it a try. Double click there. Go to on event. And oh, it's still there. Uh-oh, hold on. Why am I getting that? That's not good. Okay, yeah, it's still there. Wait, is it? Wait, I'm not seeing it anymore. Where the heck is it? Group 8. No, but that's going to turn the whole group on and off. That's not what we're looking for. That is strange. Heck it. Let's just leave it how it is. I assure you that does work, and the proof is in the pudding. If you type Calvas Flam, didn't work. Okay. I don't know. These things should be working. Usually if you group a spell and then move it around, it will work, but maybe it's not. Does the note work at all? So nothing's working. It could just be clogged up. TouchPortal does get clogged up sometimes. If too many spells are cast at once. Sometimes you can cast 1,000,000 at once. But alas, oh, there we go. They're all happening at once. Okay. There we go. So there you go. As you can see, you can use a group. Let's see. Can we do this again? There it is. Yeah. So spells that you move in a group, even if it's in another area, will work in other places. So if you, for example, see, I have all these spells, Explosion, Moongate, Heal, and Flame Striker in one group, and I can move that around and pretty much use it anywhere as long as it's still in the group. If it's in the group, still use the name inside of the group. Yep. Exactly, Jalopy. I know that sounds crazy. That sounds weird, but it works. It's a thing. All right, so that's the interactive aspect. What was the next thing we wanted to go over? Do you have any questions? By the way, tickets are available now for video calls coming up after this. I'm going to be having chats with anybody that wants to call in. It makes sense. Any questions about anything going on here? Wait, what's this? No, not that. Not desktop. I just want to have a look at what this looks like. Okay. Great. This is our scene for what we're going to use tonight in the calls. I'll have someone right next to me. Should be fun. It wasn't needed as group 8. Yep, that's what's so interesting is that now you can make a spell. Now, for example, let's say you want to make something happen where a whole group fires off. Like you have a group that has a video asset, an audio asset, and text. And all three want to pop up on the screen like an alert, right? You can totally do that. You can put them all in a group and then direct TouchPortal. Okay, turn on group 8. But I don't want to do that. I want group 8 to stay on. As you can see, group 8, where is it? Is still on. It's always on. It's just a matter of turning on stuff within it. Kind of like the interactive magic group is always on. It's just a matter of the spells being turned on from within. And these spells were not activated in this scene. I just copied and pasted them here. These spells are activated from the main room, from a whole different room. You just mentioned having guests next to you. Could you possibly talk about chroma keying guests and how to adjust if it's not visible? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, that's tricky to figure out. That is definitely tricky and not an exact science, but I will show you how I'm going to do it. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm probably not even going to green screen guests. I'm just going to open the call and say hi. Let me see here. Yeah, whatever their background might be, I'm probably just going to use that. And, okay, so here's what I would do. I would go to window capture. We're going to name it guest. I guess I should show you that. And yeah, this is going to be the guest. On Discord, I'm pressing pop out. You know, when you do a Discord call, you can choose to pop it out. So we'll have the guest here. And then we're going to drop this in our list so it's behind all the gates and stuff. So it looks, you know, like it makes sense. Let's go further down. There we go. Behind the desk. Oh, now you can't see it. Okay. Well, I think you get the idea of what to do there. And let's, oh gosh. You know, I just kind of hecked myself because I should have had 2 desks. What if I unlock it and stretch it using shift? This could look kind of bad, but I think that works. We can make that work. Yeah, we can make that work. So there we go. Now here's the problem. I've got to do that again and again because I'm breaking my own rule. Because this should have been done first. And then you change. So I hate doing it this way, but I'm going to look at background. And let's see. It's going to be, I'm going to stretch this to a little more than the middle of the gate after it cuts off. Okay, so a little bit. Okay. I hate doing it this way. It's not going to be perfect this way. I might have to... Honestly, what I might do is go back and do this manually and just start all over kind of thing. I know that sounds tedious, but if I were offline, if I weren't doing a tutorial, I would probably just do this again. Just start over. Let's have a look at what this looks like if I do a move transition. Is this going to look like it makes sense at all? Okay, not bad. Not bad. No, that doesn't look bad. We can work with that. So let's drop in the guest again. We're going to want this to be a little bigger. Again, if I did this the right way, I would have dropped everything in first, then get the perspective of the guest and everything right. But heck, we got to do this on the fly the hard way. It's very unfortunate, but... Ooh, what happened? Oh, the pop out stopped. Let's get the pop out open again. Okay. And let's see. So 1 looks good. 2. I'm looking at the V here. See the V and the logo? Let's line that up to make it so the edge is right in the middle of the V. Okay. We'll go to section 1. Line that up there and just shrink it so we're within the boundaries. Okay, now look, as I said, I hate doing it this way. You really shouldn't because it's not going to be perfect now. I should have, even before I went live, I should have planned this all out. But let's see how it looks. If this looks at all realistic, we're in luck. Okay. It's actually, one thing I noticed is that it rose up, so let's move it up a little. Let's go to this next one. Okay, no, that looks good. That looks good. Okay. Jalopy says, the functionality of it all, how to set up the green screen. I kind of went over that a little before, but I'll show you what my camera looks like without a green screen. Wait, no. Don't drift away. This is good. I'll turn off my green screen so you can see. This is what it looks like. I'm just in a room. I have a lot of space over me. There's even more, actually. Because I like to stand up sometimes, but honestly, I don't have much room. Like, I can touch the wall here and can almost touch it there. It's a very small space. But yeah, this is what it looks like, and then you just key it out. Honestly, the automatic OBS chroma key is pretty sick. You don't have to do much to it, you know? It'll work pretty good. One thing that I do that I went over earlier is that I have a boost of saturation first. See, it's just dot 0.52 boost of saturation. Then I chroma key because it'll help it'll help pick up the green. And then after I drop it again. So you can see I'm negative 0.25. So just a smidgen higher before and then take it away afterwards, because once it's keyed out, then it doesn't matter. Then, you know, that green is already keyed out. You won't make it harder to key with saturation taken away after the fact. All right. Any other questions before we move on to the next section? What settings tab? So you click what you want to do green screen on. And you can click here on filters. And you can just like add chroma key and all this stuff. Or you can right click and go to filters here. And yeah, you got audio filters up here, but this is just visual. So, all right, any other questions before we move on? Tickets are on sale for Discord video calls coming up next, by the way. Yeah, Jalopy. It's the little things. When I watch tutorials, I get advice from all the little things, like where you click around and stuff. So I totally get it. So together we've constructed this whole set. We're ready to go. We're ready to bring guests up on stage and talk to them live. Hey, Public Introvert, thank you very, very much. So, any other questions about how to set up OBS, about advanced transitions, about anything you've ever seen me do? Oh, I'll go over one more thing. This will be our last thing. So for you guys know, I love doing this. Oh, right? Whoa! And it works on every scene. It doesn't matter where you are. Whoa! Right? So, let's do that. Okay. So, how do we do that? Okay, let's start from scratch, and I'm going to show you how to do this. All right, first of all, to start from scratch, I'm going to need desktop. We don't need reverb. We'll take the mic, the alert box, and the desktop. Okay. And we're going to make a new scene here. And we'll call this Whoa. Okay, you should be able to hear me now. So what we're going to do now is add display capture. And we're going to call this Whoa capture. Okay. So now you've got another. This is what my screen looks like. See, it's already working. We're going to make this a lot smaller so we can see what we're doing. And what I want you to do is chop off everything that's not your screen. So turn off, chop that. Hold Alt and drag, and you can just delete, delete, delete. Now you're going to fill up until it's the whole screen, and you can see it's already starting to work. All right. Now try to, this is very precise, but try to get it where everything's flowing out from the middle. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to switch to that whoa and watch what happens. Whoa! Again, you start here. Let me bring this up so you can see it. How's it going, Nasty Dude? Then you just click whoa. Whoa! And there you go. Amazing. And you can get very experimental with this. I don't know if you can see this. Let me drag this up so you can see it. So we're going to right click on the whoa capture and we're going to experiment a little bit here. Let's go to color correction. Now, when you do this, Be very, very careful. And I want to warn anyone who has any kind of epilepsy warning here. If you mess around with this, you can get really, really crazy effects. If you have anything where you don't want to see blinking images, you might want to just listen to me for a second. Turn off your screen. Because honestly, I don't know what's going to happen. First of all, we're going to lower the opacity. That'll make for a fun effect where it's going to be more like a fade. Now, I'm going to increase saturation very slightly. Just 0.25, right? Watch what happens. It's going to drastically change the color. Okay, luckily nothing too bad happened there. But as you can see, small changes go a long way when you do this. Because you're multiplying everything. It's a constant echo and reflection. Let's change the hue a little bit, and we'll try a little more, and we'll try a little more contrast. Just 0.13 of this and that. So as you can see, things can get very, very interesting with just tiny, tiny changes. Okay? Here's an example. Also, if you want to maybe change the way it's flowing, what you want to do is you want to make it bigger, and line it up back to the middle. And you'll see you can get some new effects just by changing the size. See, that's way more drastic of an effect there, but you can really experiment with this and do some interesting stuff. Very interesting. All right. See, click whoa. There you go. There's something I want to talk about regarding this trick. I've had many people message me and say, I've done everything that you said to do for that trick to work, and it doesn't work for me. I've had that happen many times where people message me and say, hey, that trick just does not work. So here's the thing. Your refresh rate, you can't have it at 120. If you have your refresh rate extremely high, this will not work because this is a trick of the screen. You're actually using your actual monitor to do this trick. So you need to lower your frame rate. The lower, the better. I keep my frame rate really low on my monitor, and that helps me get these effects much easier. The higher the refresh rate, the harder it's going to be to do this trick. It won't look like that because your computer is too fast. It won't reflect. It won't loop because it's not going to it's going to be too fast. It won't understand that, you know, it's supposed to reflect and bounce. So if you really want to do this effect and it's not working, you have to lower your refresh rate. For me, I don't play like fancy games, and if I do, I just raise it back up. But typically I'm sitting at a very low refresh rate, and I don't mind at all. It doesn't affect what I see. And probably saves a little CPU, to be honest. So yeah, there you have it. This is the whoa effect. And you can use it on anything. Once you have and what I do is I have a button just for that. Boom. Anytime, and it'll work on any scene. It's one of my most used buttons. And very useful, very helpful, and you can pull that trick out anywhere, anytime, as long as you have a scene mapped, you know, properly. So there we have it. Let's do the whoa effect one more time. I'm going to take off that desktop's capture so you can see what really happens there. There you go. And you can experiment so much with this. This is just the beginning. You can easily find stuff I've never done with this effect. You can make it zoom in on different spots. Like here, let me make it zoom in more on my face from this scene. It's very specific. Micro movements go a long way But if you do it right, it will work. There you go. See? So, this is a fun trick, and it's very practical. Obviously, you don't need any plugins or anything. Anyone can do this. Just, as I said, make sure your refresh rate isn't too high. And, yeah, experiment with it and do very small changes. Very small changes will go a long way. Just a tiny bit more or less of saturation will go very, very far. Here, let me show you one more time, for example. Let's go to Whoa Capture and take away this whole thing and just make a new one. And let's crank up the contrast and turn down the saturation instead of up, and a little hue shift. Now you can see it just blasts to white, which is a fun effect too. Anime kind of thing. Oh, hold on, let's turn the contrast down a little here. The contrast might be a little too intense. Turn down the brightness a smidgen. See, everything amplifies. Everything is... All right. Let's try this. You know, you get the idea. You can experiment and do all kinds of really, really wacky stuff with this trick. And as I said, anyone can do it. You don't need anything special. Just do display capture and find your right positioning of where you want to zoom it, and then carefully experiment with contrast, brightness, hue, and saturation. Color correction, just basic stuff. All right, so there we go. Oh, also, one more thing about that trick. As you can see, I'm set to a quick fade. Let's see what happens when I do a slow fade to the whoa. Watch, it's going to be... We're going to get this going on. And it's slow. You've seen me do this before, right? So there's so many ways. And now let's see if we do a... For example, a fast move. So if we go from this and a fast move, so you can get a different effect there. Splits in half, which is kind of interesting. Lots of stuff you can do experimenting with that. All right, so that's pretty much all I want to go over. Is there anything else I didn't go over that anyone wants to talk about before we actually start talking to everyone else? Tickets are on sale now for video calls, by the way. Get your sorceries in, and you can talk to me live on stream in front of the world. How was your day today? So when I first woke up, my first thing that I needed to do was do some more setup for Vortex Fest, which is on October 31st, Halloween night. It's going to be a very special night. Hope to see you there. And I was having a lot of glitches setting that up. Fortunately, I did get everything squared away. So stressful start, and then here, how long have we been doing this? 3 hours? So yeah, stressful start, but a really fun. This has been pure joy for me. If you have any other questions, now's your chance. I've been talking about this OBS tutorial for a long time. If you have any other questions, wizards, mages, this is the chance right now, because after this, there's no more breaking of the fourth wall. So maybe, yeah, anything else I didn't go over, or didn't go over enough? Thank you for being here, Meadow. Welcome to my seminar. This is like being at TwitchCon, but we're at Vortex Fest. Thank you, Professor. All right, anything else? Anything else I can help you with? Why don't you use socks? I hate shoes. I really do. My feet were killing me at TwitchCon, but I guarantee if I were allowed to walk around barefoot, it would have been fine. You know what you do has been my huge inspiration. Oh, major play by the curtains. It means thank you very, very much, Meadow. Anything else I can help with? Anything else? No, I hate flip. This is not a joke. I don't like shoes. They never fit my weird feet correctly, and then, oof, trouble. Anything else? Any other questions at all? I'm hesitant to move forward. Yeah, I've got silly feet. I don't like them. Any other questions? Anything at all? And then we're going to move on to Discord video calls. Tickets are now on sale with channel points. Conspiracy and barefooting in most scenarios way better. Yeah, you know, I mean, look, maybe you don't want to step on glass or something, but same, Spoon Man. Yeah, I've been getting those wide shoes my whole life. They're still not wide enough, I guess. I don't know. I'm listening. This is great. I'm going to sit off Discord. Maybe next time I'm under... Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Tori. All right. So, I guess this is it. I can't believe it's over. I've been so excited about this, and it was so much fun. I feel like there's something I'm going to forget. Is there anything else we can go over that I might have forgotten? Someone remind me of something, anything. Yes, I would. I would consider them, but probably not for long. You know what, Lieutenant Linz? I'm so honored by a lot of people who saw my previous tutorials and they actually, you know, did go on to start streaming, especially using wild scenes, stuff that was really impressive. Anything else I can go over? Anything at all? I went over audio. I'd love to hang out with you over the Moon Gate today. Over the Moon Gate? Oh, yes. Oh, no, I see. Like, yes. I see. Okay, so I guess this is the conclusion to our OBS tutorial. A lot of fun. If there's anything you want to delve into that I didn't go over, message me. Or if there's something you're not understanding that I went over, you know, come on back and ask away anytime. However, this is probably the last time you're going to see me break the fourth wall for a long, long time. So it's been fun. And the replay of this will be edited, so it's nice and short. I have a previous OBS tutorial, but it's too long. And it's too long-winded. I want to edit this one down to be nice and short, get right to the issues that people actually want to hear. And yeah, that'll be happening soon. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for hearing me out. This was a lot of fun. Bookmark thingies. I think the last one did. You can do it afterwards. Traveling time. No, thank you. Thank you all for being here. Had a blast. Now you know how I do what I do. And yeah, thank you very much. All right, coming up next, I'm going to pull someone on stage with me behind the desk, and we're going to talk live with some other wizards and mages. This is another thing that doesn't happen often. But that's coming up next, and a lot of people might sign up, especially once, I think once people see how it's going to go, more and more people are going to want to sign up. So, you know, I don't know how many people I'm going to be able to get to, but I'll get to as many calls as I can. And the tickets, you have to buy a ticket to do a video call using channel points. 2,500, which is half of what I said it was going to be. So that should be good. All right. I feel like there's really something else I should go over that I'm forgetting. But I went over everything that I planned, so I guess not. Yeah, we even went over Envato or you know, subscription image services, which are great. I use them so much. But alas, I guess that's it. Thank you all very much for being here. This has been a lot of fun. And I guess if another question ever comes up, we'll go over it next time. So stay tuned. Get your sorceries in. And coming up next, I talk to you. That's right. The wizards and mages of the Mage Council get to come on stage at Portex Fest with me, and we're going to get to talk about all the things that there are to talk about. I hope to see you there. Stay tuned.